What's up, warrior? Welcome back to Daily Wisdom. Today, we're going to be dropping a very important sales tip that if you want to make more money, recruit more people, do all the above, you're going to love this. So if that sounds like something interesting to you, like this, share this video, by the way. It would be a big thank you to me so more people can hear this type of information. But hope you're doing well. Hey, put in the comments, by the way, how you feeling today? 1 to 10, how are you feeling? I hope our goal is by the end of this, you feel even better. So there's an art to selling other people's stories, right? You might have heard the adage that facts tell, stories sell, and it really is the case. What's up, Laura? Great to see you. So regardless of what you're selling, it could be a health and wellness product, a business, coaching, like it doesn't matter. Facts sell, stories sell. And it's just amazing how it works. And why is that the case? If you understand these principles, then you're going to be able to create more sales, create more revenue, be able to create more conversion. Is that people buy based off of emotion, but they stay based off of logic, right? So you want to make sure that you can get both sides of the brain. If you understand our brain has two sides, right? There's a left, there's a right. Some of us are more left-brained. That means that you're someone that's super logical, right? You're someone that is very analytical like me. I'm curious, who here is more of the analytical type? Put a 1 in the comments. The other side, the right brain person is the one that is more creative, right? So some of us are more analytical, some of us are more creative, but we all have a mix of the two. But ultimately, we buy based off of emotion. That's why stories are so important. In fact, in the Bible, the Bible is a big book of stories, basically. And how did people pass on stories and teachings and lessons? It was just through stories. So stories are super important. So if you understand this in your business, then you understand there's a superpower there. So for me, as a salesperson, as a business person, as a presenter, as a trainer, if you notice, I always try to share more stories. Now, some of you are more storytelling naturally. Must be nice. I had to learn how to tell stories. But there's a challenge that some of us might face, a limiting belief that I've seen. And I wonder if you've ever fallen victim to this, which is, I don't feel like my story's that good. I look at these other people, they're earning so much, and I just got started, for example. My story's not that good enough yet. Maybe you're trying to sell a product. Maybe you're trying to sell a weight loss product. And you're like, well, I haven't lost that much compared to this person, so my story's not that good. How can I sell if my story's not that good? If you've ever felt that way before, put a me in the comments below, because I've definitely felt that way. But when I realized that it's okay, and when I realized that it doesn't matter necessarily how good your story, when I realized it's actually even more powerful to share other people's stories, everything started to change for me. You see, one of my mentors, one of my friends, this guy, he started in this profession. He was broke as a joke, working at McDonald's, paycheck to paycheck, but eventually made millions and millions and millions of dollars. This is what he said. He would have people come up to him and they'd have an amazing story, for example, right? Maybe they were trying to sell a weight loss product and they had like a transformative experience, lost 80 plus pounds. And he didn't have that story himself. You know what he said? He said, I might not have your story, but I can sell your story better than you can sell your story. And therein is the secret, warrior, is that you don't necessarily need to be the one with the story. Now, it's always good. I think we should live out of integrity. I think that we should be a product of the product. I think if you're selling health, you should look healthier. I think if you're selling an opportunity, you should be a student in that game. However, when you start to understand that there's other stories out there, and there's a ton of them, and if you know how to use their story to be able to impact your prospect, to be able to impact your partner, to be able to impact your team, then that's where influence can come. Okay, so what does that mean? How do you sell other people's stories? Some people say, well, how do I become an effective storyteller? What I realized is this: it's not about how good you sound. It's not about making it super dramatic. It's not about the delivery. Now, these things are super important. What's important about a story is not the story. I hope you get this. What's important about the story is what's in the story is relevant for who you're speaking to. So the fact that the power of a story is not in the story, actually, the power in the story is who it's for. What does that mean? Well, I'm talking to you right now. You're somebody here that's wanting to learn how to make more money and sell more. So, the story that's important for you is stories of people that were struggling with sales before, implemented this, and then were able to make more. Does that make sense? Ultimately, if you understand this, we've been talking about this in the previous daily wisdoms. If you understand that as a communicator, as a messenger, as a presenter, as a salesperson, as a professional, the story that's the most important to share is not the one that sounds amazing. The one that's important to share is the one that's relevant for them. It is the key. So, for example, I'll share with you one story. It's so exciting. And as you know, I am someone that is a big person of faith. I believe that God has secrets in his word, that if you're somebody that follows his principles and allows God to work in your life, then not only can you have prosperity and success, you could have purpose. Like there's alignment there, right? So I'm very big on that. You may or may not be, but that's what I talk about all the time. So you know what's amazing, at least within our company, there is a team that just came on. Shout out to Global Legacy team, if any of them are watching. And man, these people, the top leaders there, Greg and Lenika Scott, they are people of faith, God first in everything. And they came in and they were able to break company records. They sold over $500,000 of sales in their first month. They actually hit a rank that is the fastest record in this company ever before. And you know what was their secret? Their secret was they said that within their team, God is their strategy. They put God first in everything. And I'm like, there we go. That's exactly what I'm talking about. So why am I talking about this? Well, if you're somebody, so for me, right, I'm looking to recruit a team and I love working especially with Christian entrepreneurs. That's who I am and that's who I like to align with. It may or may not be for you. So you know what I'm going to do to sell that story is I'm talking to a Christian entrepreneur, or I'm talking to somebody that they're a Christian that wants to get into business. And I will now share this story. Let's say the prospect's name is Bob. Bob, you can't even imagine what's going on. Let's say I'm presenting the opportunity, I'm presenting the business, and I'm like, there is a move that God is doing right now in this company. And I'll share this story of Greg and Lenika. I'll share this story of Global Legacy. And I'll tell them, guess what? They broke company ranks and they are giving full glory to God. There is a move that God is doing in this company right now. So if you want to be aligned with other people of faith that are producing and performing at high levels in business, this is the time to partner right now. Now, for the person that cares about that story would be relevant to them. And that might be the tipping factor. But I wonder if this makes sense to you, right? Put a 1 in the comments if this clicks. Like, okay, so I can sell other people's story. I'll give one other example. Here. So that's me trying to recruit a team with a certain prospect. Let's say you're talking to someone else, selling other people's stories. Okay, and I think one struggle that we have, see, for me, for example, I have a story. I sell health and wellness, for example, right? Weight loss and stuff like that. My story is I lost 25 pounds in 40 days and I got a 6-pack. Okay, and but to be honest, most of the time I'm talking to prospects. My average prospect, by the way, it's kind of funny how that works. I'm a 34-year-old Asian male. My average prospect when it comes to a customer is a 50-year-old female that's going through menopause. So talking about getting a 6-pack in my story it's not exactly relevant to that person. So I had to calm the ego and I had to realize it's not my story I'm trying to share. It's the right story that's going to be for them. So when I'm talking to this 50-year-old woman that's going through menopause, some people say, James, how do you get so many customers that are like these women that are in menopause? It's because I'm not sharing just my story. I'm sharing someone else's story. So I'll do. Let's call her Jill. Jill's a 50-year-old mom that's going through menopause. That is she's going through a lot of tough times. I'm like, Jill, I know you're going through some weight loss challenges right now. I know you're going through menopause. Now, I might not be able to personally relate, but I got to tell you about my friend Lily, right? Lily, she was going through menopause. She was just like you. She was trying to do everything. Jenny Craig, ideal protein, nothing was working. But you know what she did? She used this program. And after that, she lost 26 pounds in 3 months, reversed a ton of her health issues. And she has been able to live the healthiest that she's ever been. Now, Jill's like, that makes more sense. It is sharing relevant stories. So, Warrior, I hope this clicks for you, because when you understand the power of this, that's how you can get involved. Yeah, I can sell anything to anybody if I really wanted to, because I don't need my story. I just need to know the right story for them. And if you understand that power, then the opportunities start to open up. Remember, the right story is the one that's important for who you're talking to, the one that's relevant for their problem. So start becoming a collector of stories. Start looking within your calls that you're on and collect stories. Start hearing and seeing on social media the things that you're promoting, the products you're selling, the services you're promoting, the things that you're doing, and collect the success stories. Collect and collect and collect and collect. And when you are now in front of the prospect, then you can share the right story, share the other person's story. And that's how my friend that was working at McDonald's, broke as a joke, was able to make millions and millions of dollars, not just by sharing his own story, and always make your story better, but being really good at sharing other people's stories to help whoever it is that's in front of you. So I hope this clicked. If this was helpful, put a 10 in the comments. And if you haven't yet shared this, I'd love it if you shared this as well too. Do me a great honor right there. My goal in these daily wisdoms is to give you little bits and pieces of things that you can action on today. And if you're not yet subscribed yet to my YouTube, we put this plus all the other replays there as well. I appreciate you guys for being on here and hope that was fun. Other than that, we'll see you guys back on tomorrow. We'll give some more cool tips as well too. And by the way, if there's anything in particular you'd like me to address, tell me. I'd love to hear from you. All right, everybody. Other than that, God bless.